Hello, and welcome to the Valley Church Girl Show, the show where I tell you what happened on Sunday in case it was too cold to go outside or if your car didn't start because it was frozen. Today in church, my pastor talked about the Garden of Eden, and I was like, Pastor, I know about the garden. And he was like, Katie, we've been through this. You never know anything that we're talking about. And I was like, no, really, Pastor, I do. And he was like, okay, tell me. And I was like, okay, so there's totally like this tree, and God was like, don't eat the fruit from this tree, but you can eat the fruit anywhere else. And then Eve was like, okay, apple. And he was like, no, Eve, no. And then Eve was like, hey, Adam, guess what? I found this totally awesome fruit, and it tells you about like good things and bad things. And Adam was like, cool, I should eat the fruit. And then they ate the fruit, and then God got mad because he was like, that's the one thing I told you not to do. And then God kicked him out of heaven. And he was like, well, he kicked him out of the garden. And I was like, well, if the garden was with God, weren't they in heaven? And he was like, yeah, that's kind of right. That's kind of right. And I was like, see, I told you, I totally knew the passage. And he was like, good. Okay. So then how come when your grandma told you last week not to drive the car into the lake because it was frozen but not all the way, then you drove it into the lake? And I was like, I don't know. That's the one thing she told me not to do. And so I wanted to do it. And he was like, then you're kind of like Eve. And I was like, yeah. I'm like the first lady. And he was like, that's not the point of the sermon. And I was like, I'm totally trying. He was like, no, that's totally not what it's supposed to be like. And I was like, yeah. He was like, please go home and read the Bible. So I guess the moral of the story is, don't follow the trends. Be your own trendsetter. Happy Sunday!